must follow. So if someone says something today that shakes you, stop and remember, you are not required to believe it. You are allowed to protect your spirit. You are allowed to hold on to what you know is true. This is how you stay alive and ready for what's coming. And if this message speaks to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your friends, your family, the people you care about.
I
Someone
don't even
else
see
might be going
myself.
through the same
Oh,
struggles.
God.
Your decision to pass this on can be the encouragement they need not to give up.
Okay.
Chosen one, this message has found you at the perfect time. And that's no coincidence. You were meant to hear this today. What you are about to learn will shift everything. Because this is the moment your awakening ends and your true purpose begins. You have been searching, learning, growing, walking the long road of self-discovery, breaking illusions, seeing beyond the veil of this world. But now, the phase of seeking is over. The universe is telling you it's time to step into your power. No more questions, no more waiting. The time has come. If you have been feeling restless, if you have sensed that something is shifting inside of you, if you feel like you are standing at the edge of something big, but can't quite put it into words, this is wonderful. You are at the doorway between the world and who you were meant to become. And today, you are walking through that door. Many chosen ones get lost.
I don't know if you can even hear me. I'm typing. I'm not even talking. I'm testing this thing because October 4th is going to be my first kickoff for my interviews again. So I couldn't get this box to be like it is right now with one right next to the other. It was always showing up with 3, and I do not know what I did. But it came up like this. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I have a few people booked already. I'm waiting to hear back for October 4th for my first guest, and then move from there. But I'm really looking forward to it. I would like to see about this.
The energy is moving in ways it never has before.
Thank you. I appreciate that very, very, very much. I'm really excited about it. If you want to talk, I just do this. I just chit chat.
How do you know that it's truly time to step into your power?
I'll be watching my things because a lot of stuff's happening in the spirit world right now. I'm just kind of chilling with it though.
And once you recognize these signs in yourself, there is no going back.
And I don't know how to change the background, so that's kind of what I'm doing. Do you ever talk on panels or just in the comments? I don't know if I've ever seen you, maybe once or twice on a panel. I totally don't want to mess up. Okay. And viewers can't hear you because the microphone, but you can hear me, so I don't know why it keeps giving me that message. I'm not a technological person, so this is a foreign language to me. But I feel like if I do something, I'm going to mess something up, like the background. But believe it or not, I'm pressing buttons right now. Okay, here we go. I'm on to something. Okay. I don't like that one. I love that one, actually, but you can't see the comments. Oh, that's a good one for the comments, but that's so not me. I am not technological.
It was the beginning of something far greater.
And the sad part is I I don't even know how I got there. Oh, that's cute, but no.
But that was the greatest illusion of all. Your awakening was the moment.
I really don't hate this one. It's kind of weird, but I don't hate it. It kind of does feel like an interview. I might leave that one. That's my last interview I did with AT, and it was this wallpaper. This is the one I use mostly. Forerunner, what's up? Forerunner was on the interview chain. He's on a YouTube thing. But yeah, this was the background I have for Forerunner. I like this one a lot. But I am really leaning to this one. It's oddly nice. Hey, applesauce. All right, well, it looks like it worked. If I hang out a little bit, somebody will come talk to me. If I don't, then I won't know if this box will work.
Your mind expands, your soul penetrates. You walk the lonely path of realization, shedding layers of false identity.
Let me see here.
That journey was necessary, but now you are at a crossroads. You cannot stay in that phase forever.
Oh, I know what's up. I got that thing playing in the background. That's what's up.
It is an initiation into something much greater, your divine mission.
I heard some rumors today. I don't know if it's true.
They keep searching. They keep waiting for another sign.
About TikTok on the 17th. I had not heard that until just a little while ago. So I don't really know if that's true, but I hope it ain't. This is what happened last time I was thinking about going live and doing my interviews.
The real question is, have you accepted that? Have you embraced that your awakening was a preparation?
Yeah, I had just heard that for the first time a little while ago. Somebody made a video like singing goodbye. I reposted it, but I was like, okay.
You were not awakened just to know the truth. You were awakened because you have a role to play in this world. The universe is waiting for you to step into your power, but it cannot force you. No God, no angel, no spiritual teacher can walk through the door for you. This is a choice only you can make. You must decide to rise.
I'll be feeling froggy tonight. I'm off for 2 days.
Make no mistake.
And I love my job. I'm loving my life right now.
Not in the future. Not when you feel more ready. Now. Every day that passes is a day where you could be using your gifts, your knowledge, your light to awaken others, to shift energy, to step into your divine assignment. So, what happens when your spiritual awakening is over? You become the embodiment of the wisdom you have received.
I also heard of somebody doing
You no longer just recognize
poetry, and they do competitions, and they do competitions where people can make money with it, and they try to get me on board, but my creativity was so shut down that I haven't been able to do a whole lot of that. So I was like, I would love to make money writing poetry, but I was just kind of sending it out so other people could catch on board with it.
You are being born. But how do you know for certain that your awakening is over? That you are no longer just waking up, but are fully awake? There are 7 undeniable signs. 7 ways the universe confirms that you
I took the dog to the river,
and are now ready to use your power.
and that was fun. That dog loves going to the river.
Number 1. You no longer feel separate from the universe. Chosen one in the early stages of your awakening, you may have felt isolated, like you were drifting between 2 worlds. The old reality
Yeah, I'll let her go because
and the new truth
it's quite complicated. See? You see what it did whenever I pushed that? It turned to 3 boxes instead of 2. That's
Hello.
that's what I wanted to see. I'm glad you joined because now I know. You know how to make
Are
it
you
go back
gay?
to the 2 or no?
I ain't going nowhere.
Figure this out. Hang with me because it sure did change when you got up here. Oh boy, I'm making it worse. Why do the gods torment me? That's not it. Oh, for goodness sakes. And you know, when I go through one thing, I don't remember what I did. It's not great. It's not that. Bored. Let's see. My gosh, that is so not it. That's what this is happening. All right, let's see. I even Googled it and it gave me it gave me a TikTok video saying how to do it. Prior tour, I don't know how to do that. Accept auto requests. I know that there's a way to do this. When a guest connects, layout will be shown. Switch to the grid layout. Okay. That's my daughter. That's my daughter. Well, maybe it's meant to be. I still got to figure this out. See, I get on here, I start doing this, and I start having fun. What's up, baby girl?
Hello.
What you doing?
On a manhunt for some ice cream at the moment.
Right on. I'm trying to get the layout so I can just have 2 boxes because I'm starting the interviews back October 4th, and I cannot get 2 boxes to stay. It's the strangest thing. I did it in the beginning, but I don't know how to do it now.
Maybe you need to end your live and try to restart it.
Well, I did do that, and MB joined, and then it was 2 boxes, and then once MB got up here, it went to 3. And then once you came up, it went to 4. So
Yeah.
I've restarted every single time I try to do this experiment. I've restarted, and it has gone right back to this. So I'm like, maybe it's just me. I don't know. It's crazy. I want the 2 boxes back.
I don't know.
All
I don't
right,
know how
baby.
that live works.
I
Yeah.
know. I know it's not your number one thing,
Nope.
but
But I think it has to do with something with your settings, maybe. Like
yeah, most likely.
your guest settings.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna check into it more. I've been taking Bamama to the river the last 2 nights, and she loves it.
That's good. We've been
Yeah.
taking Kismet to the dog park like twice a day. So he
How
wouldn't
did
play with it.
how'd
He
it go
would-
with the cats?
I think they're scared of him. And he's like, Kismet. He's just,
He wants them to like him.
yeah.
Aw.
Like, there was a dog at the dog park today that was, like, clearly uncomfortable. And this other dog that we were there with kept, like, running up to it. So he went over there and, like, noticed that dog was uncomfortable and, like, got in between them and like laid there and like watched the dog until it got comfortable.
It's gonna take him some time. Hey,
Yeah.
Brandy. Long time no see. I'm chit chatting with my daughter. I came on here to experiment for the layout to get ready to do my interviews again, and I don't know how to do it. You probably know how to do it, but
All right. Well, I love you, Mama.
I
Fantastic.
love you,
Good
baby. Have
evening.
fun. We'll talk soon.
All right.
All right, baby.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a minute. How you been?
Yeah, I haven't been coming on TikTok too much. I've been on some of the other platforms, and I'm thinking about coming back on more. It's been just maybe like once or twice a week that I've been on.
Right on. Have you heard anything about the 17th again with the TikTok shutting down, or is that another rumor?
No, I haven't heard that at all.
I
Today
don't
I
believe
heard
that.
that.
It's gonna be good.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm believe good.
Well, I'm just gonna go with the flow like before.
Right?
All right. Well, I really am stuck. Do you know how to get just two boxes up here? Just the one and two, no more, by chance?
Hmm. Let me try to remember. Yeah.
I think you gotta hit the multi button,
Okay.
and then when it pops up, hit the gear,
Yeah.
and then there should be like options like live settings.
It says panel and grid, and then it goes to fixed panel and fixed grid, and it always pulls up more.
Maybe it's one of the panels or grid.
I'm gonna have to keep working on it because I really would love to have it come up the right way when I kick off. And I'm kicking back off. October 4th is my first interview day.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, MB. Or if you want to go, I totally understand. Thank you for helping me to realize that. I appreciate you. So, yeah, and I'm pretty booked for October already. I have a spot. I'm waiting for a confirmation, but I just sent the message request out today. And I'm looking forward to that if it's going to happen that way.
What are your topics for your podcast?
It's just like when I hear people out there when I'm in rooms that I want to know more from,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't get a chance to talk to them when there's a bunch of people and people going over people and stuff like that. So I just find somebody that's interesting to me and I want to talk with more that I think that I can open up to too
Mm-hmm.
and tell some of my stuff to help people. Then that's how I do it. But it is divinely guided because I never know. And I don't get upset if it goes awry. I just keep it moving. And that's huge growth for me because I used to, I guess it would be considered take it more personally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do that anymore because I've learned so much about how people are and how it is to be wounded and all that kind of good stuff. So it's just like that. And it's easier for me to go. And then I always offer at the end of the time if they want to open up to a panel. I'm willing to do that depending if I'm not tired. And I was working before, but now I'm going to be off on Saturdays. So I'll be able to just chill and not have to go to work until 4 o'clock the next day. So it might be a tiny bit later. But you were really going hard there for a while, huh, Brandy?
Yeah, I hit 90 hours of going live between my birthday was my first live in February, and then by like the end of May, I was just like, I'm gonna take a break for the summer. And like, I ended up promoting some online courses and doing a bunch of in-person events. And now that the weather's shifting, I'll probably start offering the panel again. So that was always fun to have the conscious conversations and share the healing vibe. Yeah.
I like that part too. Sometimes I mean, I've just I really when I log on, I'm trying to get I don't know, I'm not technological, and it just always turns into a good conversation. So I thought if I'm feeling good and I'm open to that happening, if it doesn't happen, okay, but it usually ends up turning into something good for a little while.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of going fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl type thing right now.
Yeah, totally.
But I've met some really, we all have met some really good people on here. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck with the two boxes. I'll have to figure it out. And this layout is kind of funny. It reminds me of those movies, like when a magician will come on the stage and do, or a show.
Yeah.
And I've tried the other little backgrounds, but this, you can see the comments pretty decent on here too.
Yeah, I can see I'm fine.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to stick with this for a while. This was the last one I had up. And then when MB came up here, it was only showing two places, but as soon as he got up here, it went to three. And I've had it where it was just two before. And I'm having hell. Y'all pray over me, please, that I could get this thing figured out because I really want it that way.
You want to have it so you just have one person come up at a time?
Yeah, when I do the actual interview with the person that I have scheduled, I
Uh-huh.
don't want an option three for an invite box. I just want myself and the person in two rectangle shaped boxes. So y'all gonna see a lot of me doing this till I get it right because I am going to figure it out. I googled it and it gave me a TikTok video and it just said what law it says hit the multi thing and then go to my daughter said restart the live and try it again. I said okay, I'll try that another time. But it says hit the guest button, then hit the gear, and then that's it. It doesn't really say anything else. So I'm gonna do a little more digging, like on YouTube, and see if they have any.
Yeah, you'll figure it out because I know it's easy. I just haven't done it in a long time. It's been like months since I adjusted it.
Awesome, Pharaoh. I love you. See you on the flip side for sure. Yeah. So if Pharaoh is gonna drop, okay, that'll leave you and I in two boxes, unless that one goes away and it just goes down to that. So if you're just chilling, we'll keep experimenting. If you got to go, I understand. I'm gonna keep experimenting until I figure it out. But it didn't change until MB got here before.
Yeah, I can stay a couple more minutes and then I'm gonna head to bed. I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, I just got home from work and took the dog to the river, and this is kind of work. It's kind of like work because I'm trying to get organized for the showdown. But that's what's
Totally.
happening. Settings, try that. And that
You're
just
in the
goes
States,
to.
right?
Yeah, where are you?
In New York.
Okay, yeah, I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That's
cl-
Midwest area.
Yep, I'm closer to you than I am to my children in Louisiana.
Aw.
Yeah.
I've never been out west before. I've been only like on the East Coast.
Well, it's not far from you. It's only 12 hours west. It's not that. It's not. I'm not even. I consider this north, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not even. No, like what's next over? Like South Dakota to me is when you get considering west.
Yeah.
Minnesota is next to us. Look at Pink Sunshine. She encouraged me. Pink Sunshine, you encouraged me with that situation with my intuition that time, and it panned out to be perfect. I will always remember that reinforcement. Yeah. Inside, what's I'm doing? Yeah, you're an hour ahead of me.
Yeah, it's like almost 11:30. I feel like my team wanted me like off here like a half hour ago. It feels like there's some beings that want to talk to me.
Yeah,
And
you're
I've
right.
been,
It's like that right now. I'm gonna be very much on the DL too once I get this thing situated. I wouldn't even be on here tonight if I didn't have to figure this out. And it just happened that I got a couple of good, really good people right now I'm saying hi to, y'all.
yeah, thank
But
you.
yeah, thank you. It's good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a minute.
I know, I really delved into like I hired a coach for like business stuff and everything because I've been training healers for 12 years and do a lot of transformational events, but I want to make a bigger impact. And so I had to like integrate all of these different teachings, and then I joined another shamanic apprenticeship. So I've been busy, busy.
That's good. I always knew that I was a healer, but it came natural. And because when I healed myself when I was a little girl and I didn't know what I was doing, when I would take a pencil in my mind's eye and use an eraser and go left and right, left and right, left and right, and erase some of the memories as they came up.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't realize that I was doing EMDR until I grew up and learned about EMDR.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I did
So
little interesting things too as a kid.
you too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what you've been through. I haven't really heard your story, but I know that mine was horrendous, and that just came to me so naturally to do, and then boom, I learned about it as an adult, and there's more stuff like that, but I just started to tell people, and I always did. Anytime I talked to anybody, and there was anything I could help them with, I would just speak out and say, this is what I went through, this is what's happened, and this is what I did, and it has really been helpful.
And then you're always there for the perfect right person to hear your message.
Sure that. And I was the one that people said would talk to a fence post. Like I was always trying to talk about because I had so much trauma, but I had this also part of my personality that was just like da 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 da. Everything's great. And we're gonna do this and accomplish this. So that's part of what got me in trouble too, my curiosity, but at the same time it kept my power up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't afraid to talk to anybody or everybody. And a lot of people that I was glad I opened up to saw the beauty in me and helped me through it. I love her. I
That's so
love you,
cool.
Pink Sunshine, so much. I know. I would ask you right now because I sent you that message before about being a guest. So if you're considering it and thinking about it, maybe sometime either in early November or I think there's one spot in October if you're willing. If you say yes now, I'll message you some dates and see what you think. Because I know you were on the fence. Brandy, are you open to receive messages? All
Yeah.
right, perfect. Awesome. I'll send you a thing too if you'd like to join in. Then if you have a topic, that's great because I like you have a thing that you are passionate about. I like to listen.
Yeah.
I like to learn. When I hear other people, it helps me to put pieces in place to apply to my own healing. So that would be great.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that sounds good. And we'll figure that out. I got my Tina Marie. I'm a Tina Marie. My daddy named me Tina Marie after the lady that introduced my grandparents. She was from Greece, and he was always about the Tina Marie, but I went through a phase where I thought that my daddy it was over. Well, he just passed away July 13th, but it took we rehabbed our relationship enough that we knew that we loved each other for sure at the end. But
Mm.
it was a lot of lost time and regretfully. So he named me Tina Marie, and I wanted to change my name, and I was trying to come up with something. I had a great aunt, and she would give me a birthday card every year with $5 in it, and she would write TEENA on the envelope, and my grandma would get so angry. She would say, "She knows that's not how you spell your name," because it's TINA. And so I thought, well, I'll change the spelling because, my daddy left me and he named me, but he left me like Johnny Cash, a boy named Sue. And so I could not think of anything to change my middle name to. And my daughter-in-law said one day, she said, well, what would you change it to if you could think? Just do it. And I said, Fancy, just because I might have been born just plain white trash. And she said, yeah, with an I. So that's where it came from, just as a joke. And so that's what I just use for social media. But when I went to change my name legally on my birth certificate, my life fell apart. It was like the universe said, oh, no, you're not. And it went crazy. And so I didn't know until almost 3 years ago if that Marie is Mary in French, Marie. I did not know that.
Yeah, I was just listening to these three women chanting that song with Marie with the I. It was so beautiful right before I came on TikTok.
Do you have it like a YouTube I could listen to?
I shared it with my friend that's in Sedona, Angela, so I can find the link and send it to it's in the messenger on Facebook, so I can pull it from that and send it to the
Well, we can link on Facebook too if you want.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
All right, that'll work.
I'm on there more lately because I feel like my community is like knows me more over there because I've been sharing on there for like a decade. It's only been like a year that I've been on TikTok.
Me too. I just got on here about a year ago. But yeah, that'll work then. I'll inbox you because I got hacked on Facebook, so it was Tina Fancy Hyatt, but now it's Tina Marie Hyatt within in parentheses Tina Fancy Hyatt. It's a smaller account, but I really use a lot for the messenger. So I keep up with my mom and stuff like that.
I post a lot on there like every day because I'm always promoting events and other healers and artists and open mics and music and stuff like that.
Are you into Brandy Christie? Is it Furness?
Yep, it's Crystal with an L-E.
Oh, I need some bigger glasses.
It's okay. It's funny because
okay, I got you.
yeah, because nobody said that before until earlier this year. One of my friends like made this flyer for me and he accidentally spelled my name wrong. And then like I'm not even kidding, like 3 or 4 people were calling me Brandy Christie after that. And I was just like, that's
what
funny.
I thought it was too. I thought it was Brandy Christie, but I thought it was my glasses because when I got hit by that 18-wheeler, my eyeballs literally popped. So they were going to go in and drain them, but absolutely Pink Sunshine for sure, for sure. I'll send you tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, and so I got these Dollar Tree glasses, and I only got them for sewing because I wasn't on TikTok or anything like that. But then I was like, here I am. I need to get some bigger ones, but I think I got the biggest ones. Well, I will message you that and we'll connect on there. And then Messenger's a lot easier to send YouTube links to me than here.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't think it might be a YouTube or it could be a reel. I don't know. it just popped up like someone shared it that just got back from France actually. And she had just like wrote me a testimonial on Google and then I was like just so touched by what she said and then I like looked at her page and then it was that beautiful song. I was like, oh my gosh, they're chanting.
I love that kind of stuff. Love it. All right, woman. Well, I am going to thank everybody for being here. Champion, thank you for joining. Hey, I wonder if I should just hang out, but I don't know. I was looking to fix boxes, and here I am, learning a lot more. And I'm going to listen to that song for sure.
Yeah, I'll connect with you on Facebook Messenger, Tina. You have a good night.
You too, babe. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
All right, y'all. I love y'all. Pharaoh, you there? Knock, knock. See, when she dropped, it went to 2. All right, let me experiment while you're here. Etheric. Yes, indeed. I'm experimenting with boxes because I'm trying to get just 2 instead of 3. And I am not doing well at all.
Hello and welcome to our meeting.
Well, thank
My
you.
intention
I just
in this
got
radio session is to help you receive
a
the
pop up
999 energy portal.
from a Reiki healer that I listen to. All right, she's awesome, but I'm not doing Reiki right now. Thank you. I see that. Oh, Etheric, thank you. You're awesome. Let's go over here. This is what I'm listening to now. It's so awesome. It's Teos Winds. And Teos Winds has a top down chakra from the crown to the root that goes for an hour. You are too. I love you. That goes for an hour, and it really does make a difference when you go from the top to the bottom in the chakra cleansing. They said that somebody was asking for it and they did it. So that's what just came on. So we're actually listening to the crown chakra right now. Y'all could definitely feel it. I know it'll be a minute, but it'll kick in. Sound frequencies where it's at. I'm seriously considering. I'm getting ready to get back to the. You're awesome. Thank you to the getting my health back in the gym. I think I'm gonna film my journey. I think that's gonna be a really good thing. Here we go. Switch. Nope, not it. Let's do co-host. Nope. Okay, I don't know what I just did. Hey, sweetheart. I'm experimenting with the boxes because I start my lives back over and I can't seem to get it to just make 2 anymore. So, yeah, I knew it was you. It took a minute. I didn't realize that was you when you were walking on the thing with the graffiti on the background. But after we talked I knew it was you. And I'm proud of you. You're doing so good. Sure, I'm proud of me too. We started out. We were in a space when we started out. But we did it. We really did. If I push that button and I make Pharaoh go away, I'm going to cry. Pharaoh, I'm experimenting. If I hit this button and you go away, don't go away, okay? Oh, it gave me a warning. Okay. It would have disconnected you. I'm glad it did that. Thank you, love. Good. Good, good, good. What was I going to say? No, I do not want to leave that. Unbelievable. I have pushed every button that there is, and it just won't let me get 2 boxes. What's FYP? I'm not up with the times. What's FYP? Y'all can tell I'm a comment girl. Okay. Oh, thank you. I think I heard that before, but I didn't know that. Thank you, Kimberly, for the follow. I'm following you back. I see your flag. Where is that from? To get you on For You page. Am I on there? Well, I have the attention span of a squirrel. Oh, wait, that's when you look for a squirrel. This is so not happening. Unbelievable. See, I messed with it so much that I don't even know how to get back. There we go. All right, I am done with that. That is a wrap. If y'all want to chill and listen to this top down, if y'all just hanging, TikTok surfing or whatever, I'm totally fine with that. Because I'm just going to be doing that anyway. So it can be one of them spaces, you know. Let's see if I put a... Hey, Katarina. Hey, baby girl. We're just started out as an experiment to get 2 boxes. It's not happening. So I put on Teos Winds that actually popped up. And it's a chakra cleanse from crown chakra to root chakra. It goes for an hour or so. I thought we'll just chill while I try to figure this out and clear some energy. I could try be like a clown with Reiki. Well, know how to do it. but I like having it done. It is. It's epic. This is how it looks. My cracked up phone. But it just switched to the third eye. So this is the third eye sound from the crown, which I like the crown. And it looks like it goes about 9 minutes. This is Teos Winds. They are one of the best. Chakra tones and something something. He's epic. He's the Bob Ross of it, but yeah. The crown. This will know if you got something to clear out in the crown. I've been working on my crown chakra lately, and really I should have taken notes about what came up for healing through it. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. But I kind of like what I got going. What's on the TV is pretty galactic. We're listening to Teos Winds Crown Chakra Healing. It goes from the crown chakra to the root. So it goes from top down. This is how it looks. Frequency healing. That's what I do, and I hold space. That's how I spend most of my time, actually. And then this, we ain't gonna have that type of class tonight, but hey, we're just listening to some sound frequency. Crown chakra down. This is Teos Winds. And this is what I do when I'm at home and just chilling. And I found another group of this that's really good that I've been listening to at night. And the Earth's Hum is one of my favorites. It's got a black screen. It starts out like this. And it is good for healing the brain, which my brain needed a lot of healing from the substance abuse I was involved in that really messed a lot of things up. Hey, Anna. That really messed a lot of things up in my body, including the loss of 2 veins, the major veins in my bend of my arm. And I learned about sound frequency, and it works. So tonight is this is Teos Winds. It just switched to the third eye. It's a top-down healing set. It's for an hour, and it goes from the crown to the root. A lot of them go from the root to the crown, but this one goes from the crown to the root. And the crown, to me, I was just feeling through and trying to think about how to articulate what it brings up. And it brought up for me kind of a group of things, not just one individual thing. So the Earth's Hum, it has the black screen for sleep, and it's good for your brain. So we'll just listen to this for a little while. Thank you for whoever's still here listening. I love you, Pharaoh.
Oh no, did I mess it up?
No, dude. I was having a major breakthrough internally from this third eye thing, and I had my phone laying down, and I happened to pick it up, and I saw it. I didn't even know. I did not even know.
Where'd you go?
I was in hell and coming out the other side of it. I was like pulling up this dynamic of when I knew that my baby was going away from my life. Like I knew it was coming. I could see it. Have you ever seen the movie Apocalypto?
No, no.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So that's one of my movies that you gotta just watch it to know how really, really, really serious it is. It's about these tribes that are over and the Aztecs got them, and you know how they used to take people and sacrifice and stuff like that. Okay. It's I think a Mel Gibson movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, every time I was in my warrior mode, that movie would come up, and I would always like, oof. Well, there's a scene in it when they first start to attack their village that he takes his wife who's pregnant and their baby and tries to takes a rope and lowers them down into this like almost like a well, a dry well, to hide them from the people. And the dude's running at him to like stop him from doing it. So he starts to let the rope go faster and faster and faster. Just, you got to see it. Please watch it. You'll love it.
All right.
And if you can handle it, I know you can, but you might be like, I don't need to watch that. But for me, it tells my story. Okay. And so when that happened, I could see her just going away. And I knew in my spirit, like there's this, to me, there's this center point that when the Bible talks about narrow is the way, and I use the crawfish analogy, like when you take the head off of a crawfish, there's a little portal that goes to their brain. Okay, I almost think it connects to their tail. I don't know, but that's how it is. It's like a center point deep inside, and I think that's the Ark of the Covenant inside of each human. That we are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and in that spot, you can travel, you can go, you can feel like it is everything. It is like if you go through that portal within yourself, it goes all the way to the creator in the universe. Like that's the connection. So just now when I was listening to that and I was really meditating, just like allowing myself to have whatever come up, it was my baby. And it was in that moment of me knowing I was lowering that rope, just trying to let her go into a safe spot. And I said, this is really going to hurt. And it went awry. And it's like the deepest pain, but I'm having to heal that. So just now I was allowing the spirit to go behind, because I'll visualize the spirit going behind the pain to wherever it goes out into the void. And whatever magic happens out there, and it's almost like when you're fishing with a net to throw it out to get your bait when you're going to go big fishing, and you have that net and you throw it out and then you scoop it in and you get the minnows in it, like that. But it's energetically, and I have to completely surrender because the pain is so bad that I feel like I'm going to unalive, but I know that I'm not, because I know that what happened was unjust. And I know that it's being worked out and it has to be transmuted. So I keep my focus on what? That's where I was. When you say, where was you? That's where I was. Keeping my focus on allowing the universe to heal that from behind, like up under it. Crazy, huh?
So, you think you're close?
Did you ask me something?
Yeah, I said, do you think you're close?
Oh yeah, it's about to pop, dude. This world that we know is about to shift. I'm not the only one that is about to have that veil that's thin, like when the woman is about to give birth and her water breaks, you know?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's there. And when this last little bit clears, there is going to be a shift that is undeniable. Like it is happening. And that's why I'm so focused. That's why I know I went through everything I went through, and I know I'm not the only one. So we're holding it down. So Emerald Flame, yes, it's just check, not based on in a true story, but based on Aztec practices and Mayan decline. Yes, that it really shows some, but it shows how survival and the desire to survive is epic through the flesh, like not just in the spirit, in the knowing, and how fear is the opposite of life. Fear is what produces unalivement.
yeah, definitely. I think everyone should be doing their best to navigate any fears that they may be holding on to.
Yeah. What I learned about fear is not, they say if you only have fear the only thing to fear is fear itself. And that's true. Babies are born with two fears: fear of loud noises and fear of falling. The rest is learned. So when a child hears loud noises if their parents are fighting, or they don't have the safety, because that to me mimics falling. The safety of knowing if their needs are going to be met, that produces that similarity in that feeling of falling and fear, because you don't know. So your safety gets messed with. To me, this is my own perspective.
So
And
kind
that,
of like fight or flight.
yep. And you can't flight and you can't fight as a little child when things are going on around. You're just inside of your own body attempting to figure it out and placing it. And as that's happening, what's happening is the nervous system is short circuiting a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there. And the children live from their hearts, so they're not thinking about how to process that. It all goes straight into the heart, which to me is the subconscious. And when the brain part develops to be able to think back, it's still another layer of the heart. There's three aspects of the heart to me. And the throat chakra is part of, which is what we're listening to right now, is part of protecting the heart on the top layer, and the solar plexus is part of protecting the heart on the other layer, on the bottom layer. So when the root chakra, which is the safety and all of that, gets out of whack, that's when adolescents start wanting to get promiscuous, because that feeling helps them not think about what's really going on. But the stomach, the solar plexus, with their nervousness, is already causing disarray from their heart, because their heart is sending out these messages up to the top chakras and to the bottom chakras, because the heart is the center of it, and that's where everything got learned. So the throat chakra, which is the freedom of speech and more, I think that's actually the devil. I think that's what people call the devil. When it gets shut down, to me, that's when the nervous system is in complete disarray, when the throat chakra is blocked. Because they can't fight or flight. They can't say anything. That's complete freeze when that part happens.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I think on a whole scale or a holistic scale, disconnection plagues us all.
Yeah. A person disconnects from themselves. It's like you can see, I speak from my perspective. I say you, that means me. Um, from seeing myself, like watching myself, I was disattached, disassociated, dysregulated, and like watching my own life, watching my own movie from fragmented parts of myself. But knowing I'm in a human body, being able to feel pain and not be able to undo it, right? Like poof, I would say, why can't my faith just be poof? It just goes away. But having to get through it day by day and unpack it and put things together and change the mindset of saying things that are mean to myself from other people's voices and things I developed about their thought processes, and put that knowing of, I know that I'm a good person, I know that I'm worthy, I know that I'm lovable, I know that I'm good, but not feeling it. And when I say it to myself, feeling nervous, because if when I say I'm worthy, I feel like I have, it's like I'm convincing myself that I'm worthy, because my feelings don't reflect that. And so my actions would do things that were showing I wasn't worthy, and I would self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How much time do you spend in thought with yourself, vibrating at a frequency that keeps you centered within your being throughout the day?
Most of my time now.
Okay.
It wasn't that way before. But now it's most, and I found a job that allows me to kind of stay in that mode.
Hmm.
So now instead of fighting for my life at my place of employment, I'm enjoying my job and bringing that frequency to it. And I have a great general manager who allows that, and the other managers, they see the beauty in that and they're on board with it. So we have a really good crew, and that in itself allows that, because I really usually, so I work a 20-hour week for a living, my
Hmm.
5 hours when I'm there is usually spent in that mode.
So you're saying that when you're not in that environment, that's when you're having the ups and downs?
That's when what? It kind of cut out a little bit.
That's when you're having the ups and downs.
I always had trouble with transitions. So
Hmm.
like going from home to work, or having to stop what I'm doing to start to get ready for work, or when it's time to take the dog out or time to go to bed, like transitions, and for my children too, have always been a thing. So I learned, and with them, that we make transitions a good moment. We figure out things that we like to do in transitions. So when I go to take the dog out, for example, transition to have to get her ready to be left alone, I go sit outside in the grass, and I use that time to soak up the earth and talk to the tree, hug the tree, be with the dog. And that's a transition. It's also a transition for her. She gets to use the bathroom, but she gets to be in nature, and she feels better about her time when she's inside. So that's an example of the transition. But I'll I will stay because I'm like a real crazy person. When I'm alone and those things come up, because it comes from within, some kind of pain, where it's some kind of memory from my children being hurt, something that somebody did to me that I need to work out. Somebody, because I say it's somebody's energy that's thinking about stuff that they did to me, or because I feel that. I'm a firm believer in that people that haven't healed and haven't forgiven themselves from things that they did to me, that I'm fighting that energy off of myself too. So that it's a heavy, but it's just staying focused does help. But when those things hit, I will say out loud, sometimes even at work, I'm not talking about that right now. I don't want to deal with that. I'm not talking about that. That's none of my business.
Hmm.
I'll say those things to myself to remind myself that that's my boundary. That if it's something that I know I need to deal with again, I'll tell myself I am not dealing with that right now. I might deal with that Thursday morning at 10:15, from 10:15 to 10:30, but until then, I remind myself that I'm not dealing with that right now, because it's not going to just pop up whenever it wants and consume my life, because it's not in my now moment. So that's some of the ways that I handle those things. And then when it comes up and it's I'm doing air quotes, it's wanting to talk about it, somebody from my past or somebody trying to bust in my energy and bring what they want to say because I'm imagining what they're saying,
Hmm.
I shut that shit down quick. I'm like, not my business, not my issue. You are not in my life right now. Because they do that. That's the spirits, that's the entities. And when people talk about we're all one, telepathy and all that, those
Hmm.
theories, that's what I think that means. And what I've learned for myself is that it's my memories and what I'm thinking they might be thinking. But I know for a fact that they are thinking something, but what they're thinking is none of my business. So I pray, I say, will you please, to the universe, will you please help them forgive themselves? Will you please help me forgive them? Because when I forgive them, I won't be thinking about what they're thinking, or how that energy of what they might be thinking is affecting me now. Because I will have my insides cleaned up to where my natural shield of protection is strong. It's my heart has uprooted all of what they did to me, and my mind is in coherence, the zero point 0.1 hertz heart brain coherence with self, that it vibrates throughout my flesh. So my cells are saying, oh, that's over. I'm not in fight or flight anymore. I'm safe now. I'm not in freeze mode anymore. I've worked through this. You doing really good, Tina. That's what I say. You doing really good, Tina. I am, huh? I'm doing really good. Yeah, you're doing great. And I say, well, is that the creator's voice? Is that my voice? Why do I have like 3 different voices inside of myself? I'm tripolar, you know.
Well,
But
like you can hear other voices in different.
I hear my own voice in different
Oh,
frequencies. Like it's like I think that it's somebody else saying it, but it's my voice. But it'll be deeper or more high pitched or with a different attitude or because there's like 22. That's what I'm writing about. How I write it from different aspects of myself that would be considered multi personalities. But it's from fragments. It's from being so blasted in your nervous system and having fear and living in fight or flight for so long that your body shoves different memories into different areas of itself, energetically speaking. And that all resides in the human flesh. So that's why people, when they talk about that we're all destined to unalive, that's not even scientifically correct. They're telling a lie when they say that. And then if you look at that from a religious, scriptural standpoint of view, that's a lie from the pit of hell. That's people saying that the human body does not have the ability to regenerate itself. It does not have the ability to live, but it does. It does. And frequency healing has been the number one way that in my empirical studied experience, coupled with the things I'm telling you, because you have to put in, drinking water, getting out in the sunlight, looking at sun gazing in the early morning and the evenings, all those things that when I look at myself, it's like I'm a plant, like I'm a giant plant, not a tomato, but like a human being, but I thrive on and from the earth. But the energy that lives inside of my body has the ability to regenerate itself every 7 years, according to science.
mm-hmm.
But what I think becomes a thing. So if I think that because so and so lived 80 years and that's what they say, and they say, who the hell is they, it's what I believe to be true. And so my choice, because I believe in the Messiah, I believe that, and I know this sounds crazy, but that Apocalypto show about the sacrifices and all that, it's the human flesh coming in to balance with the spirit, that was a mistake that was made that had to happen in the spirit world for this transition to turn around, for human beings to see that we could do it. And whether it was just this man that gave his life, I believe it's more, but I'm just saying, and somebody chooses to believe in hope in that, the fact that the person chooses to believe in hope in that creates hope in life. That creates a faith. That creates something that says, oh, this happened and we have the ability to live because this happened. Just that is a form of hope, you see?
Yeah.
Something to believe in. And taking that off the table and whatever the universe has with the planets and the shift and the way that it's set up, and we're not looking at we got a daddy on the throne, because I like the idea that I got a daddy on the throne, but hey, that's just me. I have learned that even if this is true that I have a daddy on the throne, that I have the ability inside of my existence to have the spirit of the creator of me cause me to live, which means I get to spend time with my children, my grandchildren. I get to continue to reproduce if that's what I want. Okay, so now we look at this on the macro level. The world that we live in is it's transitioning right now, but it's not conducive to life because of the energetic forms of air quotes egregores that are out there that are thinking, because they're in so much pain and they don't want to live, that they would rather think that if they unalive, it's a better choice, which to me, unalivement means non-existent. Like you just are not conscious of anything in the human body. you just don't get to live on Earth anymore as a live being and experience touch, taste, smell, those types of things. I mean, none of us really know what happens in unalivement. The only thing that is said that I have read about what I think possibly happens is that we're conscious of nothing. And I was pretty much unalive for 3 days with one experience that I had. And I am alive now, but I had to come back from it. And I don't remember a thing. Nothing. It was just nothing. So my daughter has a theory that if that's the case and that happens, that we just kind of kickstart. Like if we unalive right now, we're unalive, and we come back, we just kind of start where we left off. So everybody's got a theory on it, but none of us really actually know. I mean, because I said to her, I said, am I like unalived right now? But I know that I'm not, because I know you can hear me and other people can hear me. And I'm living a good life. I'm not doing anything that would cause that. I haven't had a diagnosis, praise God. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in good standing. So it's just coming back from that and having that knowing. It is about faith. It's about focus. I'm hyper focused. So that question that you asked about that is the majority of my time. If I'm around somebody who doesn't believe that way and they're mean, my heart center automatically goes to, like, it feels like I have a bullet inside of my chest and it's rolling around, and I'm like, I gotta.
Wait. You don't transmute it. You allow it to.
Okay, I'm having trouble hearing you, babe.
I said you don't transmute it. You allow it to affect you.
Well, whenever I'm around anything that causes my heart to feel like it's locking down, like this shit's gotta go off the planet, I automatically just kind of like pull into it, and I start, because that's tightening down, like what they would consider the spirit of Python. It's tightening down. It's like trying to choke the life out of you. You can't stand it with all of your being that this has got to go from the planet. So when that starts to happen, I start to tell myself, relax your body, release your body, let it go, and I start to take deep breaths, and I start to have that energy that's tight in my chest, and I start to say, God is love, God is love, God is love, world peace, God is love, world peace, God is love, because I couple when I say world peace, that means any prayer that anybody has ever prayed. This is what I summed it up with the Creator for me to say. Any prayer anybody has ever prayed to come out of pain, sorrow, anything, to only experience love and joy. So that's my focus. That's my thought is God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love, world peace, God is love, world, until that transmutation takes place within. So I'm not leaning into my own understanding. I'm only speaking and believing and saying and thinking about and dwelling on what is true. And for me, what is true is God is love. And my faith says that with this focus that it's going to produce world peace. So that's my ultimate transmutation devices inside of myself when that's happening. And then the other part, because it can get so powerful that it feels like I will unalive. Like it feels like my heart is going to boom. So at that point, I will say something like, the only way that thinks is that I would feel that I'm not worthy to actually live. So when I was telling you about 3 parts to it, that's the other part. I'll say, I am worthy, I am safe. I am worthy, I am safe. I am worthy, I am safe. And it takes about 90 seconds for the body to go through a pain cycle. And once that 90 seconds is gone, it's like a woman having a contraction. It's gone. So every time that pain gets transmuted, it sends that ripple out on the planet. And I know that the people that are in my existence, when I feel that energetic shift, like they're walking a walking demon of sorts in whatever demon they got, I'm sending the energy to heal that, to remove that. I experienced so much in my life. I took on so many demons. I'm doing air quotes, demons in my life, terrible energies, that I had to transmute them for myself in order for me to live. So I recognize them in others right away.
Mm. Let me ask you this:
Sure.
Do you have uh, do you have a go-to or like a home spot that you can go within your being, no matter where you are, no matter who you with, or what you're doing, where you can just be?
I do.
Okay.
But it comes with a mantra. And this just got, I'm glad you said that because the other day I was thinking about this. I was thinking that to me is the Tower of Babel. Because inside of myself, when I want to go to a spot, it always comes with a mantra. And mine, I had to make it God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love, God is love. But when somebody is telling me anything, or I'm in my space, or I feel like I need to be safe, that's what I say. So if I were in myself and that happened and I needed a safe place to be in myself, part of me passed before I could heal. Just for example purposes, I'll be saying something like, "This motherfucker here, this son of a bitch, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker." No, stuff like that. It was not safe in there because I was ready to just not have this Okay, so I had to get all of those thoughts of thinking that whatever they're doing that's causing me to feel unsafe or uncomfortable, that they had any power over me or control over me in any type of way. Because I was held captive. Like, I understand what it's like to have no power, no control, no matter what. And I've been locked up, so there's that. But inside of myself was where it mattered. And I created my own prison inside of myself from fear of what was going on outside of me. And I had to, I had to unpack all of that too. And that's when I found that spot, which I call the Ark of the Covenant, because I feel like we are the temple of the Holy Spirit. And I had to weed all that other stuff up. But when I'm in that spot and I feel that fight or flight coming on, or I feel any of that stuff, I automatically go to God is love, 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 God is love. Because I think that when I say that, I'm reminding myself, because I had to listen to Corinthians over and over too about what love is, because I really didn't know love. And apply those things to myself in that moment to think that God, I am to be kind, and I am going to extend good energy to this person that's being ratchet. I'm going to extend that kindness, and I'm going to know that this person cannot hurt me. They may be a big old growly person and really nasty, but I know that their heart is not purified to a level that they're not in turmoil within themselves or pain within themselves. So they're behaving a certain type of way. And that took a long time to get to where I didn't take other people's energies or allow them to affect me like that.
Yeah. If I may, um, from everything that you've explained, it kind of sounds like you're fighting too many battles on too many different fronts.
On too many what?
On too many different fronts.
Oh yeah. I am a world class spiritual assassin, okay? I am a fighter, and I knew that I had to do that, but once I did it and accomplished the mission, now I'm having to, okay, so I've read a billboard that said this one time. It had like a war veteran out of it, and it said that the real war happens when they get home, because they have to live with the CPTSD that they overcame. That's what I'm doing. It is finished, okay? But I'm having to live in a world with people that it's not finished within them. So all of the heavy burden that was put on me from a child, I know now why it was. Because I was gifted with this ability to, as you said, transmute it. But I have such a powerful strength and faith in my knowing and who I am created here to be, that I have been gifted with the strength and the capability of allowing it to flow through my body. My physical, actual body can handle this level of energy, basically.
Yeah. I, I wonder, I don't know if you know this or not, right? But it takes 21 days. Oh, wait, let me tell you this first. It, your body and your mind, it keeps memory, right? So as you were going through your different transitions, fighting your battles and things of that nature or whatever, it, like you were explaining about the PTSD, it will take a while for you to condition yourself, right? So
Yeah.
usually the way that it goes is it takes 21 days to create a habit, and either 144 days, hours, or attempts to make it stick, depending on your level of conditioning.
Right on. I
So,
like it.
what I would suggest, like if it were me, I would I would try my best to stay focused on maintaining how I want to feel, right? Like, forget about everything else that's going on in the rest of the world and all this other stuff or whatever for at least 21 days, right? Allow everything to be as it is. And then allow yourself to remember whatever your version of peace and happiness and love and all that good stuff feels and looks like to you or whatever. And then in doing so, it's going to give you all the ammunition that you need to make sure that you can never have positive and negative energy existing at the same time without it being balanced, right? So when you're balancing your higher self, your lower self, and your ego, which I personally call it myself, our own individual holy trinity, like as you are maintaining that center in yourself day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour, that sort of thing or whatever, you'll notice how things start to slow down for you, and you'll be able to not only transmute, but raise your own internal frequency and vibration to the point to where these attacks and things of that nature or whatever, they don't even come to your mind anymore because you're focused on something else. Because from what I sense, I think that there's more levels for you to aspire to. There's more good things that are available for you to do. It's going to require some shedding of some things that no longer serve you. And the only way that you're going to be able to actually do that is to remind yourself consistently, persistently, that you no longer need those things. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that is my confirmation for sure. I just started another 21-day cycle 2 days ago. So for sure. Thank you for that. And yeah, if you want to, if I know that you and I have kind of been connected to some degree, but I'm gonna say I need you, but like you're on board in my 21-day cycle, evidently, because this is where I am with that. That's exactly where I am. And that's been the shift because out of the blue, when I get into a spot, I'll get a call from so and so or this or that. And I'm like, no, I'm just not doing it anymore. And I just go into do something else that I really love to do.
Yeah. And
So,
I don't know if you noticed, but you don't see me hanging out that often. And the reason for that is consistently taking in other people's, energy and the traumas and things of that nature or whatever, you're going to carry them with you, right? And then at some point, because while you're doing that, especially if you haven't grounded and you're not balanced and things of that nature or whatever, you just wake up one day not feeling right, carrying a bunch of things that don't even belong to you. right? To, um, you know, monitor that. And that's why, I don't know if you noticed, but whenever I'm around and people are telling their stories or whatever, I'm always like, I'm imagining a world where peace and kindness is healing everyone, so on and so forth, right? To create that balance, because it's not that you know I don't want people to unburden themselves, but at the same time, we it's our job, right, to make sure that there's always balance.
Yeah. I've been doing this a long time, dude, since I was born on this planet, and it's so miraculous to be where I am now and what I lived through and came out of that. I do that to my own. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this part in because this is just another theory. But I am what they call Cancer, Sun, and Moon, which is two crabs. You know how crabs in the barrel do.
Mhm.
So I had that internally. I had to get to the point where I visualized, because I'm from Louisiana, where I love blue crab. I would
You down the
picture
street.
what?
I say you down the street.
Are you serious? You're in Louisiana?
No, I'm in Texas.
Right on. Okay. So yeah, I would literally picture myself holding a crab in each hand, like from the buffet, and so that my insides would not go to pull the other side down, because I would have so much empathy for people, because that's the mother of the zodiac. And then at the same time, I had the same exact polar to that when evil manifests. So that was a huge balance. And when I listened, and what you said a minute ago, I'm gonna say this part too. When I listened to Abraham Hicks, it took me a long time to understand the runaround in that dynamic. But the message, quite simply, is what you focus on grows. So if you don't want, if something comes up for me, if it comes up for healing, I let it come, let it be, let it go. And it just goes right through me energetically. And I keep my thoughts on what I want to think about. And once that happened, see, like, okay, so we said that. I'm there, okay? I have my daughter who moves in with me, who's 23, who is a gamer, who can tongue lash somebody so bad they'd be in the corner sucking their thumb. Like a whole nother shitstorm, okay, that I'm like, what the hell? But I know what she lived through when she was born on this planet that happened to her on my watch that was so traumatic, and what happened with her nervous system. So I can't just turn it completely off. I have to be on. I have had to power up for many on this planet to help energetically get them through. And my children are number one in that category. So, what the universe does for me at times is, like 2 days ago, she left to go to Cincinnati for a while. So, we worked through some major energy. She made some major strides, and we got to a really good place. And then, boom, we got a break. So I have started a 21-day cycle now, another one, having fought that, overcame that. And now I'm kind of in a rest mode. Now I can go to the gym, take the dog to the river, uh, et cetera, ride the motorbike, do stuff like that I want to do. You see?
Yeah, yeah.
But I have to fight them when
That
they
was
come out.
you, right? You guys were like on vacation or something.
I live in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and it looks like vacation all the time here. God knew what he was doing when he put me here. That was just that's a lighthouse, and it's for sale. Just so everybody knows, the lighthouse is for sale. But we went out there for the first time together, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
No, it looked like it. It looked like
This is a great place to live, dude. I love it here.
it. Wisconsin.
Yep, I never thought it.
I was in Minnesota, and I think
Nice.
I don't remember if I was driving down 35E or 70 or whatever. And I looked up and I was in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's better than Minnesota to me.
You think so?
I
I mean,
do. I do. I
do
just think
you don't like St. Paul?
I've only flown in and out of there, and I got kicked off a plane in lockdown in county, so I have not really had good experiences there. I think they have a lot of mosquitoes, but I know that the Mississippi River from there is beautiful.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's not like the Chocolate City.
Well, they got all the big lake and uh, no, but I thought St. Paul was beautiful, pretty chill.
I met people I like from there, but it is not better than Wisconsin to me. I love Wisconsin. It's the cheese state, you know.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Something you can add to that God is love.
Uh huh.
If you add, well, first, do you believe the kingdom of God is within you?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So if you say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, right?
Yeah. Popo
And
pona
you,
popo.
and you send that exactly where it needs to go, that will help pull you out of whatever it is that you're carrying milestones in.
Yep. I learned that too, and I definitely utilize it. I still at times utilize it. There was a time when I listened to it over and over. Sandra Rojas has a good one, and there's a man who does one for the inner child, and there's another man who does another form of one for the inner child. But once I got it and did those for a while, I use them now when it comes up. If I need to apply it, I absolutely do. Totally agree.
Yeah. And the only other thing I would suggest from our conversation earlier is that you kind of adjust your verbiage a little bit because as you were speaking, you were claiming ownership to a lot of things that I don't think you need anymore.
Okay, that's good because Insight told me the same thing when we talked before too, and I agree with that.
So yeah, put it in the past tense or put whatever your disposition that you are aiming for as the noun, right?
That's difficult because I hear it, I see it, I sense it, but some things it's like when I was in algebra and I the only highest I got in math was like fifth grade, like adding and subtracting fractions, and then I
Mhm.
jumped from that to algebra. They told me to quit and go to a community college. I didn't even know how to ask a question because I had no clue. So to come up with that, I mean, maybe you could give me some examples of like what I how I said it, but I know what you're saying, and it's coming to the frontal lobe for attention for sure.
No, it's just like any time that you are going to make a statement that points down upon yourself, just adjust it because it's either you believe you can control your reality or you don't, right? So if you believe that your thoughts, your action, how you think, feel, and act controls your reality, then if that's how you truly believe, then you have to act like it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
else you're just running on a treadmill, right? Like you're running your butt off, but you haven't really went anywhere.
Yes, sometimes it feels like that with habitual mantra because the trauma was so severe that it's still a frozen state.
Hmm. So we could talk offline. There are some things that you can do to kind of put those traumas to bed, sort of thing, or whatever.
Well, that's why I like to do it here because if somebody's listening and they need the help, I'm
I don't
transparent.
know. I don't know if I could say it on because I tried to text it to someone on TikTok and they wouldn't allow me to send it. So I don't want to give you.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I will message you and I'll send you my text number for phone and just text me and we'll talk. We'll set up a time
Yeah.
to talk or whatever. And then we'll set up a live. We'll see what we can and not talk about if you want and do this like formally, like schedule it.
Yeah. 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 Sure. Let me think of a way to phrase it. But it's like, do you do any moonlight stuff?
What does that mean? Like stare at the moon? Bark at it? I definitely howled at it the other night. For sure. I literally howled at it, dude. I live next
Yeah.
to a bar, okay? And
Yeah.
that bar, they had a dude come out and he was hollering on the road in front of my house. And then I heard another dude hollering. They was gonna whoop each other, you know. And it was it was the full moon night, and I went out on my back balcony on the top floor, and I said, "How, how, how," like twice. I did it for a long time. They got the idea. It was like 2 in the morning, you know. But it felt so good to howl at the moon, for sure. But what do you mean else? In addition to howling
Well,
and
yeah.
moon gazing.
We'll see if you could put it together. But paper, fire, full moon.
What does that mean? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then okay, my neighbors had a fire pit going outside when I got home. Then torch it
Yeah.
and do it on a full moon.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
We, we,
I missed the
we,
cycle of doing that, and that was one of those things I told you about my daughter.
uh-huh.
So she was out, she was having a good time, and it was the full moon, and I wanted to take the dogs to the river. So that was something I didn't accomplish during that time, and I knew that I had to have a separation in order for me to stick to the growth that I needed for the 21-day cycle that's coming. And that was something that I was advised. I felt like it was knocking on my door in the spirit world to do for the last one that I didn't do.
Mm.
So I'm going to do that. And I've been encouraged several times with several confirmations lately to write again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. A lot of times, I tell folks to take a sheet of paper and draw a cross, right? And on on one side of the paper, you put can do, and the other side of the paper, you put won't or can't, right? And then whatever it is that you think is bothering you, you put it on one or the other side, right? So if you can do something about it, then you just decide if you are going to do something about it, right? And if you're not, then you put it on the can't or won't do side. And the purpose of this is you love you. There's never a reason in your existence to punish yourself, right? So if you're not going to do anything about it, or if you can't do anything about it, don't beat yourself up over it. And it's totally okay to tell yourself, shut the heck up. Like we're not. What are we gonna do about it? Like, let's move
I
on.
do that. And sometimes, like what you just said, why you said don't be talking to myself like that. I
Yeah,
feel sometimes I'm like, look, you better get you. I'm not playing with you. And I'm like, you realize you're talking to me, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm talking to you. And I say, well, don't you know we're working on being kind to ourselves and compassion? I know, but don't you realize this is something you've been going over and you need to let it go? Oh, I got you. I got you. You're doing good, Tina. You're doing real good. You know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, you know you, and there's always certain levels of tough love that is acceptable, right? And again, you love you, right? So your job isn't to beat on yourself or make your existence miserable or whatever. Like you were put here to have an experience, right? So have one and have one that you actually want.
Yeah, that's the difference. Because that dark side, that moon side, that wounded side was so strong with I would have a vision that's something good, and I would visualize it, and I'll be all ready for it, and it would be I never would know what the little air quotes trigger word or thing or happen or whatever would be. And when that happened, automatically it was like all of these vault doors opened and out came these little gremlins going, you knew you weren't gonna. You knew it was not gonna be. I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I knew it. And this now you're gonna do this. Now you're gonna be punished. Now you're gonna go to hell. Now you're gonna go. Now you're gonna. And then it was so overwhelming. But that was my outer. That's what I. That was what I lived in my experience as a child. That was my mirroring. So my knowing would say, "Oh, we're gonna have a great day. We're gonna go do. We're gonna get the laundry. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be It's gonna be awesome. Have some awesome food. We're gonna boil some shrimp today." And one little flip of the switch of anything, and it's back to, oh my gosh, you didn't think to go get toilet paper. You know you need to. This is an example because I have toilet paper. But for example, and that little thing would just open up a whole vault of the little minions, and that was before, a long time ago. But
Yeah.
that was the duality. And so I had to, every time those doors would open, I would have to break it down to one little door and say, okay, what do you have to say about this? An aspect of myself, a fragment of myself, and hear what that part had to say. And by hearing, I mean, get really still, clear my mind, take deep breaths, drink water, listen to the frequencies, and just allow it to come up. Not judge it, not think of it, and when whatever comes up, let it come, let it be, let it go. And in cases, talk nice to it, encourage it, whatever. And then send it on its way. Because I didn't know how to let shit go. I would say, can anybody help me learn to let something go? I don't know how to do it like that. I'll ask a question in algebra.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this or not, but whenever you say something that starts with I about you, you are invoking your own magic and creating your own belief system. So you say, I can't do this, or I'm going through this, or I'm feeling this, or whatever. Then because you're in charge of you, right? So you're basically telling yourself, I'm giving myself permission to feel this way.
So break that one down for me. What example or what?
I mean, just literally, just anything. If you say I'm not smart, then you in your reality will begin to display behaviors as if you aren't smart, which isn't true.
Yeah. Following that. But I'm going to ask you this because here's that taking things personally thing about overcoming it. Are you hearing me do that in this conversation right now? And if so, point them out so that I can be aware of it.
Yeah, that's why I said it
But
because
that's
you
what
just
but
yeah yeah
I did not recognize it.
yeah
So I'm either missing it, it's not up for my awareness, so I'm asking you to bring it out, point it out, tell me the thing so that I can be aware of it. Like, what did I say?
um you said that Jesus, slipped my mind. I know you were saying something about you couldn't answer a question or something. You were going from algebra and they sent
Oh,
you to
yeah.
the
Yeah.
college or whatever, and you're like, I couldn't even answer a question.
Yep.
And then you were saying something about you couldn't control your thoughts. Little minions would come out and attack you, and so on and so forth, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm telling my story. I mean,
yeah,
those are facts that actually really happened. That's not where I'm coming from now. I see things different now. But then that actually really happened.
yeah.
So
But
in order for me to
what I'm
tell
explaining is every time that you rehearse it, you bring it into this now.
heard at the same time, when somebody is listening to me speak and they're struggling with that, they get to hear that this is what happened and that this is what's happening now. You see?
Yeah. If you have it to where you have that balance and you can say whatever traumatic experience or whatever it was or whatever, and then later on you don't find yourself ruminating about that thing that you just got finished giving to talk about it, then you're good. But if you are still having times where you're having to continue to battle with those thoughts later on, then it may be a good idea to get those 21 days, 144 hours attempts in, so that way you are completely healed from those things and you can talk about them without relapsing.
Yeah, I've been on a 21-day cycle pretty much lately, especially. But 8 years ago when this kicked off, and I knew I had to unpack everything that happened to me in my entire life. And when I tell you what I experienced in my life, you wouldn't believe that it's me talking right now from what I actually really lived through. There's shit I cannot say on this app that happened to me and that I did as a result of that. But
Oh,
I know
I know you were a
the spirit,
firecracker.
huh?
I know you were a firecracker.
Well, it wasn't just that. I was severely abused.
Yeah.
Severely. My whole life. And starting from a little girl, things that were just random, crazy shit that happened to me. And I know, because I know who I am and I know what I'm doing here and I know why, I have to be able to be transparent with what I lived through for my air quotes testimony. So when someone who is struggling with any aspect of it says, I don't know if you know the story behind the archetype of the constellation for Cancer, do you?
Constellation for Cancer.
Yeah, so in
No.
astrology, the crab has they're all of those things are star clusters. Okay, they're just used in archetypes for talking purposes. So like when they say Scorpio or Pisces or all these things, those are archetypes used for timelines and star clusters. Okay, that's what that means. So the archetype for Cancer was like this thing was commanded to go attack something to try to get rid of it that was cutting off all these heads of this other thing. And what happened in that dynamic was the crab was crushed, but because it did what it was supposed to do and had the courage and all of that, it got its own star cluster. So that's the energy of where the stars were when I was born, in my sun space and in my moon space. So I don't give a bleep and blup about shit or shit about blah blah blah. I'm gonna continue to be in my now moment, processing my energy, processing my thoughts to the regulation of life, and life more abundantly with joy, kindness, peace, mercy, and all of that. However, while we're in this shit show here, I'm going to do everything I can to transmute everything that I allowed and wished upon myself in my areas of not knowing, to come to full circle and transmute that shit so that those demons are bound. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this vessel is designed for. And it was not easy. I mean, my eyeballs popped. I had things go on, But I believe in the frequency healing. I believe in the practice. I believe in the diet. I believe in all of the things that it takes that we learn about here and there and listen to and read and other people and yada yada, and applying the things that I know, because your body knows how to heal itself. And so I do that on a daily basis, like regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you asked me earlier, how long do I spend in that? The majority of my time.
Okay.
So it wasn't easy. I say it ain't easy being cheesy. I'm in a cheese state. I love it here, but it's not. Like, dude, I have had some seriously embarrassing shit in my life that I have to face. But every single thing that I did or had to face or had to own up to, it was always some kind of a thing that my heart is pure, that I said, I will be able to help somebody with this one day. And that's been my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say it. Freaky, what's up? So yeah, it's not like I like it. Believe that. I want it done. I want it finished. And a lot of people are waking up to the idea that we don't have to live like this anymore or like that anymore, you know? That we have the ability to live in peace within ourselves, like you were saying earlier, with the kingdom being within. Unfortunately, everybody is not at that level yet, but we are in the process of cultivating that energy. Just what we're doing now, just what we're doing right now is rippling. And I already know because it's coming by leaps and bounds. Speaking of transition, I'll tell you this, and then it'll probably, okay, so when I was telling you having a trouble with transitions earlier, when people tell people things and they plant seeds into other people by wordage, that person has to, even if they're completely broken and don't even understand their intuition anymore, they're living on basic instinct, the truth resonates, okay? So I was getting ready to, I encountered a lady that some major stuff went on, that she was a good person, but some stuff went on between our husbands that was not good, okay? And we had to overcome this. And when that happened, she and I still talked to some degree, but I was pregnant with my first child, and she had given birth and had her baby natural, 2 of them. So she was giving me birthing advice. So all of the stuff that happened with the rest that we had to process and all of these things, I still was putting my full heart out to trust her. But somewhere along the line, I mistook what she was telling me about the actual birthing process in the transition part, that she said that the transition is the worst. I didn't realize that once the transition happened in the birthing phase, which is level 7, 8, and 9 for dilation for the cervix, that I thought there was going to be something worse after that. So I was afraid when I went through that level of childbirth without pain medication, that there was something worse. So because I labored so well in the beginning portion, they gave me an epidural at that level. They don't do that usually. They don't usually give a woman an epidural after like 3 or 4 centimeters dilated. But I've gotten them up to 9 centimeters dilated, and they're like, why do you want this? Because I thought from the seeds that she planted and my interpretation of the way she explained it and the trauma that was feeding behind it, the pain, and me attempting to stand up and be friends with her with all the rest of the stuff, I misunderstood that and had that own fear in myself and got a needle in my back for no reason. I didn't need it. It was over. That's what people are doing on planet Earth with this. People are going to be unalived after a certain amount of time. And, let's think about what's going to happen after that versus let's live in the now moment. Oh, well, we're supposed to live in our now moment. We're supposed to talk kind and nice and be in the now moment. But let's not hear somebody when they're feeling really, really a lot of pain and they need to express it, because as soon as they start to express it, you if you're speaking it out, you're speaking that into existence. But they need to have it mirrored to somebody who will mirror love back to them, and they think they're coming into a safe space, but a lot of times they get in wolves in sheep's clothing, where people are like not purified their hearts yet, and they don't know how to accept that this is what that person went through. And if they're not qualified to help that person, sit your ass down and let somebody else stand up and help them. That's what we're coming to right now on this planet, is for people that are actually qualified to stand in the spirit world, to stand in the actual 3D, like you and I are doing right now. We're like putting the truth out there. So when people hear this, they say, hey, so-and-so has been through this. They could probably help you, So-and-so has these tools. They can probably help you, and pass it on that way. That's what's actually starting to open up in these places for people to feel safe enough to actually do that.
Yeah. I think that most people are unaware that no matter what they think, they will never know what it's like to be inside of another person's mind, body, or like perspectively, you can only see it from your lens. Sure, you can try your best to internalize it, but you'll never know the full weight of how something is affecting someone else.
That's fact. And that's what I was telling you earlier is that's the number one clue for me when I knew I was in that codependent stage is when I catch myself thinking what somebody else might be thinking, what they might be doing, how they might be feeling. Are they not forgiving? They must be not forgiving me. They must be not forgiving themselves for what they did to me. Remember when I told you that in the beginning?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all what that is. Excuse me. That's me living in somebody else's existence, not my own. That's all in my 21-day cycle regularly of cultivating to not do that anymore. And when those things come up, what I learned about that is me and my thought process that I need to forgive them. That it's that I need to let it go for me. Not that's when people say they don't. Some people don't believe in forgiveness. You don't have to forgive them. Da, 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 da. That's not what that means to me. Because I could not understand it. What it meant for me is I don't think about them anymore, almost ever. But that's a little extreme too. When I think of them in compassion. But okay, I still feel. That's how I know I haven't truly forgiven them. I still feel like I'm thinking about what they did to me or how they might feel about what they did to me, which means I have not forgiven them. I have
yeah,
not let it go, and that's where I'm at. And you're right. When something comes up and you go into that world, you're bringing that thought into your reality. So I have learned to just dismiss thoughts. Like it's not allowed to come into my reality. I've already hashed it. I've already been over it, around it around so many times. It is beat to, it's unalived. It's gone. It's just not even in existence anymore. And that's the kicker. When I get to that point, then I tell myself, wow, it's coming up. It's knocking on my door. There will be a time when it doesn't come knock on my door because I've healed the pain that it caused me and can let that go a little bit more. But that process, I wish so much I could just snap my fingers and it'd be done instantly. If my faith was that strong, it would be. Because that's what I visualize, like instantly and immediately, right now. Reality says, however, when you plant a seed, you get this, takes time for it to grow. Those seeds were planted deep. Like, I could tell you, when you talk about you can't talk about it out loud, this is the kind of shit that I'm going to talk about out loud. A seed was planted inside of me when I was about 8 or 9 years old from an older person who did something that they should never have done to me. And the seed that was planted was that in that physical body part, you're looking for that, air quotes, that feeling. And I was being abused physically in that way. And I took that thought and was looking for that feeling while replaying my trauma over and over because that's the only love that my body knew. That's the kind of shit, dude, that don't undo that easy because as a child doesn't reflect back on that at that age. They are living in their now moment as if this is reality. So it don't just go away, poof. It becomes aware. You become aware of how to undo it. But absolutely freaky, the body holds that stuff. And you said it too, Pharaoh, earlier, is that the body holds on to that stuff. And when I talk about it, I talk about the physiological portion. That's when I say that. That's what that means in summary. Because it's not only in your thought process that you develop after a certain age that you can actually think back on stuff and reflect. But it comes from your heart because the child lives from their heart space in its entirety when they're little. So what they're mirroring is, that doesn't say, oh, that's so-and-so being that way. That means this is reality. This is how the world is, which is the moon phase of the person. Yeah, I know, baby girl, for sure.
yeah,
You got to change that. And then when you see that person that abused you, they're just living their best life and you know they're not because they're keeping a dark secret. They're spiraling out. A good person has compassion for them. They don't want them to experience pain. They don't want them to experience disassociation. They don't want them to experience all of these things that hold a nasty secret like that they're too ashamed to just admit that they did and accept it, responsibility, and move forward, start to heal. They would rather go in the opposite direction. but they don't mind unaliving. They think that that's their answer. That's their cue. That's how they're going to escape this thing, is by unaliving, until it eats them up so much that they realize, oh my gosh, that is my reality now that I have created from something I just wouldn't forgive, wouldn't let go, wouldn't face. And for the person that sees that and is, one has to ask themselves, because I sure had to ask myself, do I want that for them? For them to be out of their misery by their own will of doing that because they won't step up to the plate and admit what they did and say that they're sorry? Or, that's my own thoughts. So I had to ask myself, am I practicing witchcraft? Am I wishing that on to them because I think that that's what they're wishing on themselves because that's the way their life appears? That's another level. Then I had to say, Tina, you're good. You're good-hearted. You don't want anyone to suffer. This is about you healing, and this is what you said earlier too. This is just that confirmation I'm telling you. This is about me letting that energy go of what I think they're wishing for themselves because I want them to get it. I want them to live. I want them to forgive themselves. I want them, Fine Slip, what's up? I want them to move on with their life. It's not my responsibility if they don't. I know I'm pure. I'm not wishing that on them. But that's a heavy weight to bear and carry when you're a child and they put that on you and made you think it was your fault. You take the responsibility of their shit. And that's hard because the people are not, there will be people that will not make it. And that is a reality that I'm accepting right now. And it's not because I'm trying to wish that on them. I'm not trying to speak that into existence right now. It's something that I've had to wrap myself around because if others like me that want everybody to make it and everybody to live, we all start wishing that for each other and loving that into existence and speaking that and wanting that and loving the people that did that mean, nasty stuff to even children. We have to be able to forgive that as a group in order for that to change. Otherwise, those people are going to keel off. And if we wish for them to unalive in whatever way, shape, or form, we're just as guilty as them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, it ain't easy being cheesy, baby. It ain't. But you gotta just know who you are and realize that this is a reality that's happened on planet Earth. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm gonna stay focused on my own healing because my own healing is where it's at. And as I heal, that ripples out to others. And what you said, I'm telling you, that was confirmation for me because that's the cycle that I have been in and I just really transitioned into is no matter what it is, it's not a selfish thought for me to not think somebody else's thoughts or think about how they might feel about it or think about what might happen as a result of that and wish that they would get better so they don't have that fate. It's not my business.
Yeah. The only thing that I would add to that is that in your awareness, allowing yourself to be in those different states without it weighing on you is the goal.
Yeah. Dude, I can't just not have my calling, my anointing, my cloak be just like, I'm strong, but it's heavy. It's a heavy, 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 heavy responsibility / I used to say burden / curse / it's a high honor.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy, but I believe that my yoke is light and my burden is something. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? The way that I rationalize stuff is the Messiah. I have been to the place. I've done the studies on the wrist where where people that were crucified had that feeling in there, and with that is one of the most painful parts, if not the most painful place, and having to lift up on your feet with nail. This really happened to people. And they lived, and I don't have to experience that. I just got to carry some extra heavy emotional shit that happened to me from some other dumb shit that felt good to my body as a child, even though it was wrong, and I have to unfuck that shit in my head, I'm not being tortured. I'm not being crucified. I am in a different type of way, but if I say it's not heavy, that's a lie. It's heavy. But the more I heal and the more I unpack it and the more we talk about it, and I know it's helping others to hear and they're able to get some resonance with it, it becomes lighter on a daily basis, one day at a time. You know, I mean, I was a user of everything except the one that affects the body the way cigarettes do. Y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I overcame that shit by myself. I couldn't even go to AA and all that. That was the biggest joke ever. But I mean, I respect it. I've been going since I'm 12. I gleaned a lot. I took the principles. I used it for myself. I'll go back and help people there. And I have. But I had to get alone. And I had to apply everything I ever learned in my life and put that into perspective. I mean, I ingested, and not just the Bible, other literatures too. But when I say I ingested the Bible over 1,000 times, I did. And it really does come alive and cut the fat off of shit and go to the marrow. And it really separated a lot of things inside of myself for that. And I was able to stand up and say, I'm still standing better than I ever did. Looking like a true survivor, you know? Because why? The joy of the Lord is my strength. It's a mindset. I had to weigh out all what I went through, and then how am I going to apply that mindset in my life to not live from a victim mentality? Because the victim mentality, I truly was a victim. I was help me, I need help, I'm a victim. First of all, nobody gave a fuck. Okay, nobody cared. They could not comprehend it. With the ones that did, I couldn't receive their love because I was so broken. So it was its own special little place in hell. And then once it started to undo and I could get a little bit of peace, I had to let everything go. That included my houses, my cars, my children, my career, my education, everything. And get completely alone and feel what I was feeling and decide whose thoughts were in my head. And it took a lot, and it took a lot of getting still. And there was some times that I asked the Creator not to let me go because I didn't know that I was going to pull through it, because my body, I literally injected some real rancid stuff. I lost 2 of my veins, and that was running through my body, you know? And it took me 5 years to be able to get off the couch pretty much from that. And it was frequency healing. It was my mindset. It was knowing that no matter what goes into my body, it doesn't defile it. It's what comes out. So I'm saying, yeah, but that's supposed to apply to the mouth, like what you eat, right? And you poop it out. No, that has to apply to no poison's going to touch me. I had to call on every resource that I had in order to overcome and survive. And that ain't the only thing that I did and the only thing that I went through that I survived. And it was like, it is really real. The human body will regenerate itself. It will come back. And the point of it is what you think, what a person thinks. And that thought process comes from the center place in the heart, which, as I said before, I think is the Ark of the Covenant. That's being transformed by the renewing of your mind with what? The Word of God. What's the Word? You know, to me, what's the Word? Kindness. What is true? What is love? What is uplifting? All of those things. And what does that do? It lifts your frequency. It lifts the vibration.
Yeah. As you think, as you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why it says, and I don't want to misquote it, but I probably will. But the power of life in unaliving is speared by the tongue.
Oh yes, that's what I was telling you about the throat chakra.
And then the other one I like is idle mind is the, I don't know if you could say that word or not.
The devil's workshop?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I always tell people. You know, if you imagine it as, remember the first time you went to go swim?
I don't remember it. I was always swimming.
Okay, so, well, you know how swimming works, right? So if you get in that water and you start thrashing around or whatever, you're going to sink, right? But if you get in the water and you're just still, you're one with the water. You're afloat all day, no problem, right?
Right on.
So life is kind of symbolic to that too. Whereas when all of these things are going on, thoughts, so on and so forth, right? And you're trying to battle them, you oftentimes end up sinking in them, right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of times, usually when those things sneak up on you, you weren't being persistent in centering yourself in whatever way you thought you needed to feel, right? So because you weren't doing that and you weren't gratifying and uplifting yourself through every moment that you were existing in, it made it so the smallest little thing could go wrong. It could easily tip your scale because you were already on the verge anyway, right?
Yeah.
Versus if you imagine your internal love meter, that say if it goes from like 1 to 10, right? And if you're doing everything in your power to keep yourself fluctuating between 6 and 10, it's going to be a whole lot different if you have a trigger as if you're just floating at a 1 or 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, it's conditioning is so important because we've unfortunately, like, we've all been through different things and so on and so forth, definitely on different levels. But if we aren't persistent in maintaining our whatever we want our vibration to be, anything can pull us anyway.
Well, you know that movie? You ever seen the movie Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve and who's that? Jane Seymour.
You know, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I don't really like uh, watching other people's emotion, so I don't watch TV
Okay.
unless they're doing something that I want to do, like fly or walk through a wall or something like that.
Yeah. I
Like,
hear you, dude. I
I,
don't
I
hardly
never
watch them much
understood the
anymore, but I do
concept
almost not gonna
of
lie, but
tuning
not that
into
much.
someone else's problems. Like, it just on
Well,
purpose. Like,
this is the point of that.
yeah,
In that movie, he went he went back in time. Okay, he
yeah,
wanted to time travel, and he figured he got his ducks in a row, and he had it worked out. And he had a room, and he cleared everything out that could have been from either dimension, and he got himself focused, and he went back in time, and he was where he wanted to be in that level of time. And what he didn't realize is that in the pair of a pair of his pants that he had that he got from that time and era, he went and got everything lined up, okay, from that time.
hmm
When he pulled out a penny from his pants, it was a 1972 penny, and once he saw that, he immediately went back to the future. Okay?
mm,
I asked the creator because it didn't matter what I was going through, there was always some little people of a 1972 penny that would show its ass in my now reality from some timeline or a psychic vibrational center in myself, in my physiological self that I had stored from some form of trauma. And I had trauma, dude, a lot.
yeah,
Okay? A
yeah,
lot. So my prayer became to the universe that please don't let my internal have a 1972 penny, because no matter what I did, when they talk about walking on eggshells or waiting for the next shoe to drop, people that have CPTSD
yeah, yeah,
complex,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that's what, because no matter how much we undo, we still got frozen parts of ourselves that has something that needs to come up for healing, and it takes time for that to
yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
So that was one of the things for the universe, was that please don't let me have a 1972 penny, which meant anything that could come up. I wanted every stone to be unturned in my psyche, in my in every cell of my being, in my spirit, all the way through and through. You know how they got that thing that looks like a Y'all know what I mean. It looks like it's cycling in and cycling out. It's like the human. I'm gonna find a picture and show you one day, but I know you know what I mean. Like it doesn't stop. Your energy doesn't stop. It just keeps cycling in and out, in and out, in and out. And that's how I wanted mine to be fluent. Because when that gets fluent and my mind says that I love my human body, I want my human body to be alive. I want to enjoy my children and grandchildren. I want them to never taste death. All of that. That is an energy frequency because the human body is the densest form of energy. So if what you said earlier, if I'm on my roll and then all of a sudden something comes up, a phone call from somebody in the past or whatever, 1972 Penny, AKA, that means I go back to that moment. Who's got the gall to call me? I haven't, gotten rid of you out of my psyche enough or my energetic center enough, or have I not healed enough that I can open up and embrace somebody that is going to give me a call or, the 1972 Penny that shows up. Is it going to take me back to 1972 or am I going to be able to stay in my now moment of the reality that I created? You see?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you believe that you have the power to control that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yes. But here's the kicker, dude. Right now with this shift that's happening on the planet right now, there are people walking around riddled with demons, energetic entities inside of themselves from thought processes of things that are just not healthy for a human and conducive to life. You see? That's what demon means to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're still coming up with their wounds. They hadn't healed from what so-and-so did them when they was whatever age and whatever. So they're treating you like mess. They're hooked on a money demon. They're so exhausted because they're striving for money instead of life, stuff like that. We still meet those people on a daily basis right now a lot. It's getting there. The tilt is happening, and us staying strong like we're doing and staying focused. And like you said, do you stay in that now moment? Yeah, but it takes what you're talking about, that making sure that every 21 days you're having a cycle of you're not consuming stuff that doesn't let your seed go from the stomach part to the the solar plexus, where it goes up to the back of your neck and hits that pituitary and pineal gland to cause this secretion that secretes this life force. Because every 21 days you're thinking the right thoughts, you're eating the right food, you're sleeping the right amount of sleep, you're connected to the earth.
Well, I think you have even more power than me, because literally from the moment that you open your eyes, you can be thankful. From as soon as you put your foot on the floor, you could be thankful. On the way to the sink, you could turn that water on and watch it come out of that faucet and look at God. When you put it on your face, like literally every moment, from brushing your teeth to having your first cup of coffee or whatever it is your normal routine is, there's so much goodness that's available that you can grab, that you can create, that you can cultivate, that's stems from within inside you. And that's what I'm talking about keeping that level from 6 to 10, or at 10, close to 10 as possible. So that way, if you're in that space, in that vibration, in that frequency, I can guarantee you that whatever it is that doesn't serve you will have less room to enter in your space, your sphere of influence.
Yes, indeed. Gratitude is it. When I was telling you about forgiving people and all of that, all this 21-day cycle, dude, I listen to gratitude affirmations from the time I wake up in the morning all day. And it has been. So I started that 42 days ago. But while I do that, I have noticed things that will come up in contrast to something that she'll say. Like, I have a whole bunch of them I have on the playlist. And then I'll find myself, I'll give you just a random example. I am grateful for my daughter's dogs, okay? I love them, don't get me wrong. I raise them. But when I'm cleaning up dog shit or hearing one whine because they want to go do and I don't want to get, I am not feeling grateful for them in that moment. This is a mild example. But
Yeah, yeah.
when I'm listening to the gratitude affirmations and they say, I am grateful for the pets, for what the pets bring into my life. At first, when I would listen to it, it would trigger me and I would teeter-totter either way, depending on what was happening. Now, since I've been listening to it for 42 days or whatever, on my second 21-day cycle, I smile when I hear it. Because I'll usually be thinking about what I got to do with the dog or what's going to happen or what I got to go do all the dog, like whatever. And then that part will happen in that gratitude affirmation cycle. And now I smile. I don't feel that ratchetness about I got to deal with this shit. I embrace it as I get to deal with this. I get to embrace this beautiful dog that likes to run around and live her best life and lives from her heart and just, no matter what, she just keeps showing up. This dog showed up for me more than any human while I was going through what I was going through. And it took a long time because I kind of cursed the dog. I was like, I want my baby. I don't want an animal. I want my children. I want my child. I want that. And so not being grateful for having this dog, that was the lesson. And when I learned that gratitude is the antidote for every single thing that there is, I can't express it enough. And you just said it. Gratitude is the answer. And you got to feel it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. When you're listening to the affirmation, are you seeing as well as feeling?
In most things, I mean, that's what I'm saying. As I'm unpacking this stuff, some things are still coming up, But
Yeah.
for the most part, I've already cycled out the majority of it. Like I'm at the remnants, and yeah. But there are times, like I'll give you an example tonight. Maybe I'm a little butthurt about still, but not really, because it's really just a good example. But we're doing a thing for St. Jude's, okay, and I love it. And I market it, boy, because I really believe in it. I don't believe in that we have children that have that issue, that need that supply and help. But for right now, the fact that we have the help for the children who are coming out of that, I appreciate St. Jude's for that. So it's something that I am on board with while we are cultivating, raising the energy so children aren't sick anymore on the planet, basically. So we do color a pepper, okay? I work at Chili's, just so y'all know. We do color a pepper. So pretty much everybody will take a pepper and create a pepper. And the creativity that comes out of human beings is just amazing. So we had this man come in tonight, and I'm like, I must be out with it. And he just looks at me and he's like, no, we're good. And I was like, okay, well, it's okay at the end. You don't have to color a pepper. If you will just, if it's in your will to do so, we'll just make a small donation or sky's the limit, to whatever, to St. Jude's, just let your server know. And he tells me, I've already donated enough to St. Jude's. And I'm like, okay, that's really good. It was really like this. And he says, I said, really? That's great. Because, I get that edge to me. And he says, yeah, $400,000 worth. And so I'm like, $400,000 worth of your own money? And he goes, yeah, of my own money. Now I would just like to have a seat. Now we're at Chili's, okay? Chili's. Sweet little Chili's. And so then I'm like, oh, wow. All right. So he's donated $400,000, but it's begrudging. So we go around to the seat. Well, it's my job as the hostess to say to the person when they sit down, would you like to, are you a member of the Free Chips and Salsa program? Are you aware of it? Are you aware? Yeah. And so I say to him, I said, I feel like, I'm not exactly sure the words, but it was something to the effect of, I'm not sure how to approach saying to you, are you aware of the Free Chips and Salsa program? Because you donated $400,000 to St. Jude's, and I'm not sure if, you want to even bother with the Free Chips and Salsa program. I just want to sit down and eat my food and make my order. And I said, you got it. And then he went on to say some more. I said, this is my job. You know, I was doing my job. And so, well, okay, I'll add one thing in that I did do. I said, your inner child would have loved the color of pepper. That's what I said. So technically I am doing my job in the spirit world. So that
there's some synchronicity to that, because when you were talking about how people are going through different things, and that's what you call a demon. I was thinking to myself, at some point, when we were kids, we wanted to be adults because we thought that would give us a better chance to be cooler kids, right? Have no one in the way from stopping us from having fun, right? Be able to explore and go and do this, that, and the other. And then when we arrived here, there was a whole nother set of folks still ready, willing, and able to control our fun, to tell us what to do. And we had to pay for it all, right?
You're preaching now.
So what I like to call it is there are a whole host of disgruntled employees of life, right? Because for whatever reason, we took, this big, beautiful place with all these resources, and we said, let's charge each other for it. Let's own something. Mine's me, yours, mine's we, whatever, right? And the consequences of us not being our brother's keeper has been this.
Yep, I do. You're spot on. That's what I was saying about forgiveness, man.
Yeah, well, not even necessarily just forgiveness, but the allowance of people to be as they are, and then the audacity to not be in someone else's way.
That part.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, do I ever?
You should feel good as a human to know that your existence wasn't in the way of someone else's happiness. If anything, you contribute to it.
I live that, man. You just said that was my life. And I was so sad about it. And then I realized I am the one with the power underneath it. For what? To get up under that's what I was telling you in the beginning, their pain, under their energy that they're sending to me, and forgive that instead of taking that onto myself and allowing them to create that karma for themselves by me doing something like unaliving myself. Because that's where I would have been. I had to forgive them in order to create inside of myself wanting to live, and then reaching out for them to be free from it. And that is being my brother's keeper to me, sister. But that's what that meant for me.
Yeah. I think there's quite a few more levels that we can go. And with the advent of AI and things of that nature, is going to force us to have to shift our value system.
I'm listening.
Well, in the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be so many jobs that don't require creativity that's going to be automated.
Yeah, they said a couple years ago to invest in robot stocks because they're about to take over factories, all kind of stuff. But I got to thinking about that because that was in 2020 when I got that memo. Is that I worked in a factory, and it is a nightmare to me. It's a hard job. That is going to free up so many human beings from their bodies being in that state, because the ones that are going to not then have employment because it's being taken over by that are going to really have to go within and focus on their spirituality. They're going to have to realize that they are a living spirit. Otherwise, they're going to have that foot in the GRA, on
Yeah.
the line.
No, seriously, we're gonna like right now. Right now we are heavily focused on doing, and I'm not talking about just you and I. I'm just saying the general consensus of the
Yeah.
population. We're focused on doing, and that has to shift to being because uh, at some point, the amount of work that there is to do is going to change, and there's going to be education gaps and things of that nature in between the two. And the only way that we're going to get past this without transitioning into the Hunger Games sort of thing or whatever is to look out for each other.
Yes. Beautifully said.
And I think because the words are tainted, when people say things like unity and togetherness and oneness and things of that nature, that means that everyone needs to be thinking and believing the same, dressing the same. And I heard people say, "Oh well, if this wasn't like this, the world would be boring" and stuff like that. And I just keep like, what happened to your imagination? Like, go get a box of crayons and go to work, man. Like, go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's exactly what that part was. Okay, you brought me back. Okay, so here we go. I could not myself. Okay, up until I had no creativity. Like I was so traumatized and done for, and my nervous system was completely dysregulated. I could not do inner child work. I mean, it was bad. I could not imagine, and I had the best imagination. I imagined myself through all that all the way, but that's how much it had to get to for me to realize that there was something bigger than me. But anywho, a year ago when I got off of substances and really got into that mode of it, I started sewing. And I still, at that point, was in my dysregulation. I was back and forth from my imagination coming up and my dysregulation, but I worked through it building that quilt. And I made that quilt. It took me like 9 months to make that quilt, a simple quilt, But I worked through so much of that coming out of it, and my creativity came back.
I bet you that was so therapeutic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They call it fabric therapy. So that said, I went to Louisiana and took time off over the summer, and I just allowed myself to be. I just enjoyed my grandbabies and just made myself not do anything that made my brain think about anything. Not spiritual work, really, not work really, just checked out and focused on enjoying life. Well, when I got back, I decided that I'm gonna now, since that healing took place, I'm starting, and I'm gonna probably document that too, is an inner child quilt, healing quilt, and that I'm having to use my imagination for. So all of that said, this man that sat down with his two adult sons, one a very young adult, maybe in his 18, 19, 20, early 20s, and one probably in his mid 20s to late 20s. They just were looking at this dynamic, and I could read that one of them was like, I can't believe this is happening, but they're so used to it that part of it was just dismissed, and they love their father, and I'm sure there's a lot of money involved, So after the fact, the waitress, I asked her, I said, please tell me that, I said, you don't have to tell me, but tell me they did you right, and they did. They tipped her really good. And she said to me that the son ordered for the father. She said that they were weird things, like he couldn't even decide what he wanted to eat, that the son ordered for him, and that the daddy didn't even pay, that the son paid. So that's what I mean by being bound in situations that the creativity, because when I said that about the inner child, that's when the sons kind of chuckled and put their head, like gave that little head bob, like almost to look down, but couldn't look down. They had to look up quick,
Yeah.
Because they knew what I was saying. And that seed, I pray, blasted into his yoke of his heart of hearts to remind him of who he was created to be without the money burden, without you give $400,000 but you act like you're in pain for it. Like, I don't even understand that. So that was kind of my thought process on planting a seed of remembering who he is as the child within and his creativity, which was what that was about, using your imagination. But I could tell that he was so exhausted from what he was dealing with in his corporate life or whatever, that he wasn't in tune with his imagination anymore. And I've been there. I know what that feels like. It's not good. It's sad. But yeah, so you're awesome. And we had a really great night. And I didn't ask you or do anything, but are you okay with me using clips from this thing and posting this on YouTube?
Yeah, man, go for it. Go
All
for
right.
it.
Thank you.
Please help. If anything that we can do, put something in somebody's cup that helps them get through a minute, an hour, a second, or a day, like, let's do it.
All right. I appreciate that very much. That's what I'm here for. So anytime, every time you want to jump in this dynamic, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll still send you the message though.
Okay, yeah, anytime, anytime.
All right.
And oh, let me ask her. Is Mary still here?
Maybe. Let me see. I don't see her name, but sometimes it doesn't stay. Mary, if you're here, will you let us know in the comments, please? She may not be.
All right, look like it's just us.
What were you gonna say?
All right. Oh, when I was talking about we have to switch from doing to being, she was saying, how is being going to address our needs? And I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but just in the United States alone, there's 336 million of us. There isn't a problem that could ever exist that outnumbers us as people.
I like that a lot.
You get what I'm saying? There's no, I don't care what you can think of, food, shelter, water, whatever it is. There's not a problem that can ever exist that is larger or would cost more than the people that actually exist. Because the money is an illusion. It doesn't mean anything. We have to put the effort. Like,
Yeah, but that's a paradigm shift right there, just in thought process, because I know it, but I didn't think of it in that context, and that just put the spin on it, because that's true. And we have the power. One person has more power than a bunch that are not in tune with their power. But us together is huge.
yeah. And, and that's why I say, I don't know if we can coin another word for it or something, but, because of how our language and our perspectives have been tainted, we don't have a singular unifying idea or source that we can all get behind. It has to be like a disaster or something, and then we're like, oh yeah, all right, who cares about that? Let's go solve this, right? We need something of that level without it being catastrophic, that is the equivalent to what unity would mean.
What would you think? What would you say if you were explaining, like, if you were putting a proposal together to propose this? What would you say that is?
I would call it adhering to the original law of our existence, which is oneness.
I really
Oneness,
want to hear about that. Yeah.
oneness with everything, like with everything that there is, everything that there will be, and every person that exists. Like, I am you, you are me, sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
So whenever I have a tree branch that breaks and it literally, I'm crying because I don't want to break a tree branch, or my plant unalives because blah, 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 or the grass has to be cut. And I, Tina, am just like, I feel that.
Hmm.
Is that what you mean by being one? Because it's very difficult for me.
Well, again, you want to stay centered and balanced, right? Just because you have a respect for nature, that doesn't mean that you have to be traumatized by something that's part of the normal conditioning, right? It's even absent man or woman, their landscape kind of tames itself, right?
Are you asking me right? Like the landscape kind of, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. You're driving around farmlands or, places where, humans aren't occupying and
Wow.
things are as they are. You know, the water's over here, the rocks over there, the trees over here. Everything has its own place, right?
Okay.
The animals, the earth. Like, if we want to understand how to coexist, only our best example is nature.
Yeah. Yeah. But we have this is okay. Here we go, boy. This is why because lately this was a current that was flowing around that was just one of the most annoying things for me is it was you probably heard this and you probably clicked out, but I'm just saying a rock, okay? Is a rock conscious? I am so done with that because those things, I get that, and I get that I love my rocks. I got my rocks here. I have them. I love my rocks for many reasons, but it's not the same as a human to human able to think about and make the next move, whether it's going to be a good move or not a good move from a conscious perspective. What are your thoughts on that?
You, after you said it's not the same as
Yeah,
something
because people
perspective.
were trying to equate rocks to a human.
On those sorts of things or whatever, like I understand that as a human, I only have so much bandwidth, right?
Mm.
And I need because of the general state of the place that we exist in or whatever, I need a lot of that just to convince myself to be okay in a place that isn't okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, bandwidth. I like that you said that. Yes, and that's
So
That's knowing the boundaries.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes people they get so excited about information, right, that they forget to use the information they already have.
Yeah. Well, I feel good about it. How you feeling?
Yeah.
You feel good about it?
I honestly I don't think that we have a choice, but the best part about life is that you know whenever we first have a thought, we may have a million different ways to achieve whatever that thought is, right? And then as time goes on, the amount of choices starts to reduce, right? So your ability to have success on whatever that idea is the same throughout that whole entire process. The only thing that changes is your effort. So I said that to say that, you know, the more time that goes by and we continue to be disconnected, the more dire things will get because disconnection plagues us all.
Damn, that is really summing it up right now. The nervous system being in disarray that people are experiencing right now, at the bottom of that barrel, when the fragments are there, it is such a lost feeling and existence and thought process that not animalistic so much as reptilian, though. It is really where it's cold blooded. And the movies that were put out there, and like you said, you don't do that. I understand it. That children and young people and people that watch those different types of stuff, because there was spans where like horror movies were a big deal, and then shows like Snapped, where that was a big deal. All of those seeds got planted during that time. And now this time, like when Saturn's making its return and all of that, and people have gone through what they've gone through up to this level, and they're cleaning out some more. This is the pivot for where they're going to have their morality, I guess would be the word, maybe not, but their thought process is going to pull them through, keep them from harming others, or what you just said. So that's our focus right now, is to bind this, for the boundaries to be set in everyone, and for everybody to get on board with the kindness show and the just being visualization and imagination, that everything is just rainbows and and flowers, you know.
You know, I've been ever since I came to TikTok, right? Whenever it was, I forget what it is because I'm no longer bound by time. So my perspective of time is like a month can go by in like a day for me, sort of. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at any rate, whenever I originally joined social media or whatever, I came on here with one purpose and one purpose only: to gather as many people as physically possible that want to care about each other and do something. And ever since I've been here, I don't know what it is, but it's been extremely difficult to get people to talk about what the hell they want.
This is the pivot, dude. We are actually, and you and I, and there's a couple people here, the German Shepherds here, that are on the same frequency right now with what you're saying about this pivot.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I was even teasing Ellie and T about it. I was like, man, I'm just so far ahead of my time. Because whenever I think, I want to say it was like 2 years ago, I think. This is I was like, okay, I'm gonna get enough followers so I can go live or whatever. And then I started meeting a bunch of people, and I'm like, all right, cool, you already got a following. You want to have talks about what people want? You know, like, okay, we'll give it a shot. I'll show up, and they're talking about nothing but these emotional things or whatever. I'm like, I know the emotions are important, but I'm 1,000% positive if we connect together and make life a bit easier for everyone, to where people can focus on their passions and their dreams and find something else that makes sense for them in life, I guarantee you they won't have enough time to be in their feelings. Let's go fix what's wrong first, and then you can do all the, Dr. Phil stuff you want to do all along the way.
When you said, dude, I'm not kidding when I tell you, ever since that, what you said, that little study, you know what, I have come to the conclusion at the end of the tour, and that's why I know that there's a pivot. They want to unalive. The majority wants to unalive. They don't want it. They do not believe in humanity and think that they're going to live. They think that unaliving is the group, the big group, like the majority of the people that I'm sitting in rooms with, dude. Really. Like I just said, am I the only one? I'll be the only one. You're with me, I can tell. My children. But when I'm out, I'm trying to tell people the human body's not designed to perish, like all of this stuff. And it's like, I'm the crazy one. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. You know? Like that McDonald's documentary, you eat that fruit for 21 days, and I'll eat this fruit for 21 days, and we'll see who ends up fat, so to speak. But that's the realization that I got from when you said people just can't come up with what they want. And that's whenever I knew that the pivot was happening. And that's when I told you there's a new cycle starting, because I was in that swoosh of people, and I met a lot of good people. a lot. But when you got to the end of their tour and when the heart was spoken out for all of these months, basically the whole cycle was, and then once you leave this body, it's like, no, thank you. I'll stay in mine.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, in some cases I become the live killer or whatever because, people, they're super excited about, the abilities and, what's happening in the astral world and what's going to happen later and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, hey guys, I can guarantee you one thing and two things for sure. Whatever that is, we will figure it out when we get there. We got this now to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the other thing out of the other side of the neck, dude, is, oh, we're supposed to live in the now moment. Well, why don't you think about you're creating that you believe in unaliving in your now moment right now, and you keep pushing that in your next now moment because I keep hearing you week after week after week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you know what? I was actually, unalive, 44th, right? So my perspective on it is, in order for me to know that I was no longer physically in control of my vessel anymore, I would have to have memory that I was in a vessel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which would also mean that I probably got memory of the rest of my life, right? So, if on the off chance that I ascend high enough to become part of the all or whatever, can you imagine not doing enough where you had control of your vessel and all you were stuck with was all the memories that you have just right now?
Dude, mine was so bad. I know exactly what you mean. Exactly, because I thought, I say, Father God, I say, how can I be so aware of what's happening and what I need to do and be so stifled and not be able to get this across? And then when I run into people and think that they're going to get it and they don't. Yes, the bandwidth. I love how you said that. We do have a bandwidth as human beings.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the other thing is too is I realized a long time ago that every time you choose to do one thing, you also simultaneously chose not to do a whole host of other things, right?
Yeah.
Uh, when we look at it from a mathematical standpoint of us having 1,440 minutes in every day, like we have to quantify that somehow. Like, how are we spending it? And does that yield the fruit that makes sense for the quality of life that makes sense for you?
The Slight Edge. There's a book from Jeff Olson called The Slight Edge, and it's like the main thing from it is the water hyacinth theory in a nutshell, like that documentary on McDonald's. What you do in your now moment, in your next now moment, is going to manifest. Like, would you rather a penny or $1 million? A penny over time, or what I mean? And the water hyacinth, how you don't see it growing on one, but then like over the time it takes, the whole pond is full of the flower. It's like that. You don't see it growing underneath it, but the seeds that have been planted and the cultivation that's taken place in each now moment is going to create the reality later. So you can say out of one side of your neck, oh, the now moment's all there is. And the other side of your neck say, when I leave this vessel, then you're you're lukewarm, you're not hot and you're not cold. I don't know where you're at, but in your now moment, you're creating what's coming out the other side of your neck. So that your now moment creates the next one. You preach that, but you still are saying out the other side that you are predicting not being in your body because of unaliving. I don't know how to say that any more clearly than 3 times I just said it in a row.
Yeah. Well, one of the parts of
of working on your soul is managing your perception of your own mortality. However you think that is, right? You think you're going to exist forever, or you're going to go be part of the all, or reincarnate, or whatever it is that makes sense for you, right?
Regardless what you think about, you're gonna get though.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing about it, right? If you are, um, this is why balance is important throughout the whole entire process of everything. Like your whole life, if it doesn't have balance into it, then you're on these roller coasters sort of things, right? Like sometimes you know, it's fun and you're going up and down and this and that and the other or whatever, blah blah blah, and then other times you're climbing up that hill, right? So once you get in the proper vibration and you start getting that frequency and you start harmonizing within yourself, things start to move at a rhythm, at a pace, at a beat that makes sense for you in your being.
I
So,
love the way you said that.
and then, you know, a lot of times it never hurts to go back to the, you know, the basics, your own.
Well, I'm about it. So we have just teamed up for this split and this pivot, and it's really happening on planet Earth, and I'm so grateful.
You know what? I'm excited about it because I was gonna talk to you about it, but it just happened organically. So I'm excited. Let's do it.
That's what's up. All right, I will definitely be in touch with you for sure.
All right, I appreciate it. Hey, if you ever need to you know, talk rap or whatever, hit me up. I'll shoot you my information.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do too. All
All
right,
right,
dude. I love you so much. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. God is love and to be continued.
all right. Be safe.
Good night.